Hey, Helen.
Hi, Rob. This is it. I think about 1 week to go, and lots of people have already started exams. So this will be the last on exam tips for creating questions.
Yeah, definitely. I think next week is the last week of teaching for many schools. And as you said, lots have started already. So what are we looking at today?
Well, when we were compiling our questions for creative questions and practical questions, we came across ones which didn't fit any category. So we decided to put them into interesting questions category.
I love it.
Really, all we're trying to do is create questions that make for an interesting, enjoyable, engaging paper.
And I love this picture because I thought we'd like kids to dive right into the paper, super excited about it, and teachers to dive in to creating engaging papers.
Engaging, and let them get in the car and say, "Mom, it was a super exam."
Love
what?
it.
Yes.
Yeah, I loved exams.
Yes.
So let's have a look.
So this would be a question for a change. So we chatted to another teacher who said it's all very good offering lots of source-based questions, but for your kids who are not strong readers, there's just too much reading. So, hey, we have technology. Most of us have projectors and whiteboards, and if not whiteboards, a white wall.
Yeah.
Let's project this movie onto the wall during the exam, and you play it twice. The first time we make rough sketch notes. The second time we refine our notes, and then we're able to answer this question on making cuttings, because remember, we have previously physically done it in the classroom where we made cuttings.
Yeah.
Now it's really the movie's a reminder, and then we've got to logically present our information.
Absolutely. And this again is we've practiced a skill in class, and now we're assessing the skill as opposed to just the knowledge, which we tend to do.
Organizing your information. So there's a sorting element here too.
Excellent.
This is where we are giving you the answer. I mean, what is a habitat? There is the answer. And now we're asking you to pull it together, to coherently use your vocabulary to explain what is a habitat.
Yeah, and I love this idea because you really have to understand what habitat means in order to give not a parrot fashion learnt definition.
And definitely all the words are there to help you.
Love it. And it just looks cool, the question as well.
Definitely. So this is a curation question where you would give them several definitions on subsistence farming, because they've done this in grade 4. And some of these are quite heavy, and there's a short one and a longer one. And then you would ask them the question.
Use the knowledge from all the definitions above to explain what subsistence farming is to a younger person. Use your own words. If time allows, you may draw an appropriate picture. So basically, they're making a little dictionary. That's what the little book is for. They're answering their own dictionary definition, and they could illustrate it, thinking of maybe a grade 2 or 3 child, what that means. And again,
awesome.
they've got to, as you said,
it's a skill. It's a skill. And we've been teaching the note-taking skill all the time.
Lovely.
So this is a longer question where they actually did a whole class project where they got quite a lot of information as a source on the South African habitats, where they were able to pull out the information for this. But now, once again, we're going to show you a movie on rainforests, because we didn't do rainforests because it's not a South African habitat. But using a rainforest, which everyone's going to read about and learn about and see in a movie at some stage, they now need to collate that information into this format, and it could be very simply marked with 2 points here, 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, and a heading of the rainforest.
An appropriate heading. And it could be point form as opposed to long sentences.
Definitely.
Love that.
As a change. This is rather cool. We had it in the lesson, but if you didn't do it in the lesson, because there was plenty more identification, here you have to identify the stamens and you have to identify the style, and you've got to put it together following instructions. And then if you look at the rubric, you've got to have colored in the flower in an authentic way, not all green. Flowers generally are darker and then they come up. And so it is quite a fun task, and you'd be cutting and gluing. And
so I'm thinking we could even do this for term 4 with like a moon rover or a space rocket, if you could find like
all the parts that you put together.
And quickly put them together. Yeah, same idea.
And that is quite a fun, engaging paper.
And also practical.
Yes.
As well.
So in grade 4, they actually learn about 4 different styles of bridges. They learn about different kinds. And now you can ask them, look, this is the gorge you want to span. We want more here fluency. And so the question would possibly reword it a little bit, saying, think of different bridges that could possibly span this. And you might start with a simple rope where you balanced across there, which is very common in hiking trails,
Yeah.
down to a more concrete based, something more sturdy.
Absolutely. And we're looking also for a few different ideas. They could combine the ideas, come up with something original, and then also to list maybe the equipment that you might need for one of those bridges.
And some labels. So we know what's string, what's concrete, what's wood.
Lovely.
Looking at our elements.
This is a very cool question as well. So looking at in the Indian Ocean traders and then designing a Twitter feed, a Twitter account and a Twitter feed for use. Basically, what was the question? Then tweet about what's happening in the world of trading at that time.
So you need the knowledge of the traders. I think this is that grade 6 where the traders are trading on the East Coast, the Arab traders. And so you need that knowledge to be able to tweet something sensible.
Absolutely. And then only 280 characters. So it's got to be limited but meaty. And that could just be, again, a fun or interesting way to
and even if a child doesn't have a cell phone or a Twitter account, he knows exactly what Twitter is, and he may as well get ready for it.
Love it.
A great way of answering any sort of question where you want to compare anything.
Yeah.
Whether you compared Harriet Tubman, who helped people escape, to somebody who kind of imprisoned a slave master, and you compared the differences and the similarities.
Even,
there are so many varieties.
I'm thinking also traveling to the moon, traveling to Mars.
What are the similarities? What are the great ones for now? For medicine, we also spoke about indigenous medicines versus Western medicines.
Yeah, and I love
traditional medicine.
I love the comparison question like this because it's quite easy to mark. So it's just those points in the bubbles, and then it also really shows you how much the children understood or
it's critical thinking because you're arranging your knowledge into what's same and what's different, and that's a skill in itself.
Love it.
So this is very similar in that you are learning to sequence your information.
Yeah.
So there are so many things here. It could be that movie from the first one. What was happening there again?
That was the cuttings.
Oh, so you could actually do the cutting question this way.
Yeah, it's a process.
Or in the medicine, we used a comic to show the invention of penicillin. You could now use words to describe the invention of penicillin.
Yeah, and again, this is also a question where you could have a written source or anything like that. And
absolutely. And then sequence the order of a production or a plan or a history or a timeline.
Exactly.
So you got to dive right in, set these questions. The end is nigh.
Thank goodness.
What's most important is that you're all going to go into a planning week shortly. And that planning is looking forward to 2022. And we would ask that you just go and check out Coach in the Class because we have a lot of material there and we grow it constantly.
Yeah.
We keep adding to it. And there's some awesome material there for a really, really affordable price. And of the 8 weeks of lessons, if you only use 2 weeks, you've already paid for it. And it is exciting, engaging work that I know your children will love because everybody who has used our work has said how they love it and they come back. And in fact, somebody's just bought Mapungubwe, which is like term 3 history.
Term 1's history for next year already, anticipating
that she needs it. So clearly that's where your heads are going to next year. Do go and look at Coach in the Class. And remember, there's a freebie lesson in every unit.
Yeah, go check it out. And we'll see you maybe next week.